Apple usually hosts an event or releases products via press releases in March or April. So in today's video, we're going to talk about 3 products that could be released in spring of 2022. But before we get started, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of videos and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. This video is sponsored by SetTap, an incredible cross-platform suite which gives you access to over 200 iOS and macOS applications without any additional cost. You only need to pay for your subscription and choose the apps that you would like to use. Now, a great benefit is that you can start a 7-day trial for free when you use the link listed down below in the description. I like to look back at previous releases and events, and in 2021, Apple held its spring event on April 20th, where they released the AirTags, the new iPad Pro, the 24-inch M1 iMac, the second generation Apple TV 4K, and the purple iPhones 12 and 12 mini. In 2020, on the other hand, Apple didn't host an event, but they did release products via press releases in March and in April. On March 18th, they released the MacBook Air, which is not the M1 version, is the 2020 MacBook Air, and the new iPad Pro with the A12Z Bionic chip. On April 15th, Apple released the second generation iPhone SE, which is the iPhone SE that is currently selling on the Apple Store. In 2019, a few products were released in March. The iPad Air and iPad mini models, the 21.5 and 27-inch iMacs, the second generation AirPods, and towards the end of the month, Apple held another event which was focused in services, and they released the Apple Card, the Apple TV Plus, Apple News Plus, and Apple Arcade. Now, I could keep going and we could talk about several products and releases, but you get the point. This is a trend. So what to expect in spring of 2022? There is a long list of products that we're waiting to see this year, but there are 3 main ones that may be released in March or April. Starting off with the iPhone SE 3. This iPhone is supposed to have a similar design when compared to the second generation, so a 4.7-inch display with home button, Touch ID, and thicker bezels. The main updates expected are 5G support and an updated processor, which is supposed to help with performance. The new chip is supposed to be the A15. The second product is the 27-inch iMac powered by the M1 Pro and M1 Max chips. We've been hearing a lot about this new iMac, and according to Ross Young, which is an analyst with a track record of 100% on Apple Track, this new computer is supposed to feature a mini LED display and ProMotion technology with variable refresh rates up to 120 Hz, which will allow you to have smoother scrolling and content. Similar, the same thing that we currently have with the iPhones 13 Pro and Pro Max, and it's amazing. Regarding the design, Twitter leaker Dylan DKT, which is also reliable and has a track record of 77.5%, the new iMac is supposed to be similar to the 24-inch iMac, but it could be available in a darker color scheme. So I'm looking forward to see if we're finally going to have a graphite option. Dylan was also the one that mentioned that the new 27-inch iMac is going to be powered by the M1 Pro and M1 Max chips, which are the same chips as the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros. And last but not least, Apple could also release an updated Mac Mini powered by the M1 Pro and M1 Max chips and with higher end configurations. The new device could be released alongside the 27-inch iMac, and don't forget that the M1 Mac Mini was released in November of 2020, but we're still waiting for an option with higher end configurations. It's also important to consider that once the 27-inch iMac and the new M1 Mac Mini transition to Apple Silicon, the only product remaining with Intel is going to be the Mac Pro desktop. So Apple is going to be almost done with its transition. Apple announced the transition from Intel to Apple Silicon on June 22nd of 2020, and the first M1 Macs were shipped towards the end of that year, so in the end of 2020. 2020. And Apple said that the transition would be complete in 2 years, which means that this is going to happen in 2022. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. And these are the Apple releases expected for the spring of 2022. We're still not sure if Apple is going to host an event or not, but I will be coming back with more information as soon as I have any. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.